Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sam. I read a lot of books. I read a lot of fantasy romance. I don't like books without romance. And I'm obsessed with Outlander. And that tells you absolutely everything you need to know about me. So I decided to do another 24-hour readathon because I love doing these, but I don't have a lot of time for this one. So instead of doing like setting a timer and then like turning it off whenever I'm not reading and like trying to read for like an actual 24 hours, I'm going to give myself 24 hours and see how much I can read in that time frame. Obviously I'm gonna need to sleep and stuff, so it's not gonna be like a full 24 hours of reading, but that's as much as I can give at the moment because I'm leaving. It's Monday night and I am leaving early Wednesday afternoon, so I don't have a lot of time to do this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start kind of like my timer at 4:30, so it's 4:15 right now, and go until 4:30 tomorrow, and we'll just see how much I read by then. I do need to pack still. I do have a lot of things I need to do, but I do have some audiobook options, so I think that will help. So let's talk about what I'm going to be reading. The first book that I really want to read for this readathon is The Stardust Thief. This is by Chelsea Abdullah, and it is, I guess, kind of like an Aladdin, I don't know if it's just Aladdin inspired, Aladdin retelling, adult fantasy type of thing. I know that we've got a thief and a magic lamp and djinn and a sultan and things like that, so I'm super excited. I've been wanting to read more adult fantasy for a while now, so I'm really excited to start this one. This will probably be my first read. And then the second book that I want to read is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This is another book on my July TBR, and this one I don't really know anything about other than it's by Emily Henry, and I really liked People We Meet on Vacation, so I'm hoping I really like this one as well. I know that it has to do with two people that are both working in the bookish industry in some capacity. I'm pretty sure they hate each other, and I think there's a small town involved. That's all I know, but I am interested in this one, and it's not super long, so I think this one will be good after, or maybe even to break up some of the fantasy. And then the audiobook that I'm listening to right now is The Blood Trader. I'm only about 25% in, so not very far at all, but I'm hoping to finish this as well. This is the third book in the Prison Healer series, and I've loved the entire series, so I'm really excited to finish it. I was having a really hard time getting through the audiobook for this one, not because there's anything wrong with it, I was just having trouble concentrating, but I think that's starting to change. The pace is starting to pick up a little bit, so I'm a little bit more interested, so I think we can get this one knocked out. So after that, I don't know what I'm gonna read. We'll see how far I get with these three first, but I do need to go finish the laundry and clean up. I was trying to do some other filming things, so I've got like books everywhere right now, so I'm gonna go clean up, listen to my audiobook, finish the laundry, and then sit down and read probably The Stardust Thief. I think we'll start with.
Oh my love, you're such a fragile thing, I know. And with the winter comes the ice, the snow, but I'm here to hold. And oh my love, don't worry about the cold just yet. The trees haven't started to shed. Just feel the summer sun as it warms our bed. I'm lost. I'm lying when I say I'm not afraid, but I'm trying to shelter you from pain. And oh my love, the seasons come and they go, but I hope.
Hey y'all, so it is now 9:30. So I have read more of The Blood Trader. I'm not done with it by any means, but I did listen to another hour, so I have 5 hours of that left. And I'm pretty sure that that is measured in like, because I listened to it at double speed, so I think I like have an actual 5 hours left. But I have also been reading The Stardust Thief, so I am halfway. And I started it at 6:30. And it's taken me 3 hours to get halfway. Now, granted, I did stop and go to the gas station with my husband to get an icy. That took probably 20 minutes. And I have been a little bit distracted, so I have taken like 30-second breaks to text people and do things and, you know, get distracted by Instagram here and there. But I feel like this was a terrible book to pick for a readathon because it is an adult fantasy. It is a little bit denser than a lot of books that I read, so it is taking me a lot longer to read than I thought it would. But I'm pretty determined now. Like, we're committed. We're gonna finish it. So I told myself I wasn't gonna stay up super late, but I absolutely refuse to go to bed without finishing this book. I will not start the second day, really, of this 24-hour readathon without having finished at least one book. It's not going to happen. So I can always take a nap. Go to bed early tomorrow, right? Take a nap Wednesday morning before I leave that evening, afternoon. Yeah, that's what we're gonna go with. I can sleep later. Read first, sleep later. That is the motto that we are living by in this readathon. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Okay, well, I should go read because it's 9:30, so if this is gonna take me another 3 hours to read the second half, so it's 11:45, and I have finished The Stardust Thief, and I have a lot of thoughts. So, and I'm also exhausted. I'm not a night person, so bear with me while I try to collect those thoughts. I haven't decided on a rating yet. I think I might sleep on it. But my first thought was that this was both more and less complex than I expected. I haven't read like a ton of adult fantasy, like very, very little. I've read a lot of like new adult fantasy, but as far as adult fantasy goes, I've read almost none. So I definitely went in expecting it to be a lot more complex than it ended up being, but it was also like it took me a lot longer to read it than it would take me to read anything else normally. I probably spent 1.5 times the amount of time that I would spend on like a young adult fantasy or a new adult fantasy or like a thriller or something. I feel like this was more complex than the books that I normally read, but less complex than I expected. And that could also be partly because it is a setting that I'm not overly familiar with. Like, it's an Arabian setting, and a lot of the fantasy that I read tends to be like medievally set and like medieval Europe type of setting. And while I do love that setting, I thought this was really refreshing and a really nice change from the norm that I'm used to reading. So it did take me some time to like figure out what I was reading. But I did end up really enjoying it. So I have thoughts. I have like a lot of thoughts, but I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna sleep on it, and I'll let you know like my rating in the morning and what I'm thinking, why I want to rate it that, and I'll go more into depth on my kind of like review of it tomorrow. For now, it is almost midnight, so I'm going to bed. But I need to like take off my makeup and put on pajamas. So while I'm getting ready for bed and all of that, I'm going to continue to listen to The Blood Trader, the third book in the Prison Healer series. So I am 40% of the way through that. So I'm hoping, I'm pretty sure I can finish it tomorrow. because I do have some things to do tomorrow on top of trying to do this readathon. So I'm definitely going to start Book Lovers in the morning. But while I'm getting ready for bed, while I'm getting ready in the morning, while I'm doing anything that I can't be physically reading, I'm going to be listening to that audiobook, and we will see. I'm hoping if I can at least get those 3 things done, I'll be happy, but I'm kind of hoping I can fit in at least 2 physical books tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to bed now. Good night. Good morning. So it's 9 a.m. I definitely slept later than I intended to. I didn't get up until like a little bit after 8. So I've been listening to The Blood Trader all morning, so I'm halfway through that now. So I've only got 4 hours and 10 minutes left of that. And then I need to start Book Lovers. I was considering extending this slightly to account for some sleep time, just like maybe until I go to bed tonight. But I think I'm leaving tomorrow morning now, so I don't know if I'm gonna have time to edit this in the morning, which means I need to edit it tonight, which means I probably still need to end it at like 4:30. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe I can, if I can get the majority of it edited tonight and then only have to edit like a clip or 2 in the morning, that might not be so bad. I might be able to do that because I don't have to leave like super early in the morning. So we'll see how that goes. We'll play around with that. That does mean that I'm well rested and ready to go today, so I am going to start this very soon. I do have a little bit of editing to do today for a different video that is going up tomorrow, so I might do that. I can't listen to an audiobook while doing that because it's like I have to listen to me talking, but we'll see. We're gonna kind of play it by ear, but I think I'm going to start Book Lovers. I feel like I'm picking all really long books. Like Book Lovers is 399 pages, so that's a 400-page romance book. So I feel like I've picked some longer books for this, so I don't know that I'll finish another book today, since I do have a couple of little things to do. But we're gonna give it a shot. We'll see how it goes.
You know that I won't.
Hey y'all, so it is now almost 1 o'clock. I am halfway through Book Lovers. Technically I was halfway through at 11:30, but I had to pause my readathon for a car crisis because, if it can go wrong in my life, it absolutely will. So, long story short, there was a nail in my tire. Super easy fix, you would think. Nope, apparently there was a second nail all the way in my tire. Can't fix it. Have to replace all 4 tires when you have an all-wheel drive, apparently. So that was fun. So I had to deal with that, and that just stressed me out and took up some time. So I think what I'm going to do, because now they can't fix the car until tomorrow, which means I'm not going to be able to leave as early as I thought I was. So I was supposed to leave tomorrow morning, but now I'm not leaving until tomorrow afternoon. So I think I am going to extend this readathon to kind of make up for some time that I've lost. So I'm probably going to just keep it going until I go to bed tonight, whatever time that may be. It will definitely be before midnight. That way I can kind of recoup both the time for the car stuff, and I have to go get my nails done at some point today, and I think it's going to be like before 4:30, so it might be in the middle of my readathon. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're just going to go with how we'll extend it until I go to bed, and that'll be somewhere around 24 hours-ish, and we'll work with that. But I am really enjoying this book so far, so that is a bonus. I really, really like the characters. I love how Emily Henry can just create the most sarcastic, sassy characters. I just love it. So thoroughly enjoying this. Can't wait to finish it. I'm gonna go finish it now. I do have some other work that I need to do, but I just really want to finish this book first. So we'll finish the book first and then we'll worry about the other things later. Okay, so it's 2 o'clock and I finished Book Lovers and oh my goodness, I absolutely loved it. I love Emily Henry's romances. She's definitely one of my favorite romance authors. And I just really like it because it's not, like, there's always a story beneath the romance and I love that. And I don't know, it was very different. Like, it's a small town romance without being a small town romance. And I don't really know how to explain that without giving things away. But it was really different and really refreshing and I did really enjoy it. So that is book number 2 done. So I need to edit, I need to pack, I need to... There's something else that I need to do. I need to get my nails done. I need to go to the store. So many things. Okay, so I need to like make a list. Like some things can be done tomorrow. I can definitely go to the store tomorrow since I can't leave until like noon anyways. I am getting my nails done when my mom gets off work, which probably won't be for at least a couple more hours. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go, because I do like a little bit of a break in between books, I'm gonna go edit really quick because I'm halfway through editing that video and it's not a super long video, so I think I can get that done in like 45 minutes maybe. So we're gonna go do that really quick and then I'm probably gonna pack and listen to my audiobook. And then I need to pick out another book because I don't actually know what else I'm gonna read. So I've got like a lot of options. I kind of want to choose something shorter because I would love to at least fit one more book in. And this one was like 400 pages and the last one was like 500 pages. So I think I want something a little bit shorter. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna go edit real quick and then I will get some book choices and we'll decide what we're gonna read. Alright, so it's 3:30 now. I have finished editing, I have mostly finished packing, and I only have 3 hours and 17 minutes left of my audiobook. So I don't know that I'll finish that today, but I'm certainly going to do my best. But I have come with a pile of books that I need to choose from for my next read. So first I have Hook, Line, and Sinker, which is the second book in the It Happened One Summer duology by Tessa Bailey. I really liked the first one, and this one's a best friend romance, so we'll see. It's also not that long. Well, it is almost 400 pages, kind of. 353 pages, so that's not bad. I also have Defy the Night by Bridget Kemmerer, which is a fantasy. I think it's a young adult fantasy. This one is 443 pages, so that one's a little bit longer. I also didn't realize that I have the second book in the Inheritance games, which I read and loved, so I really want to read this. It is like 350-ish pages, 352, so that's not too bad. And then I also have the X-Hex, which is like just barely over 300 pages, so this is definitely the shortest and the most likely that I'll finish. So I think really I'm kind of between these two, because this one's the shortest, but this one's the one that I want to read the most. However, I also know this one's gonna end on a cliffhanger. So I guess really, do I want to read a mystery or a romance? This is also second chance romance, which is not my favorite. And his name is Reese, which gives me very mixed feelings. I might read this one just because it's shorter and I know that I do have other things that I need to do before I leave tomorrow, so I have a much better chance of finishing this one today. So I think we're gonna go with this one and see what happens. We'll give it a shot. 50, and I finished the XX, which I enjoyed. I'm gonna go with 3 stars. It wasn't really anything like special, but it was cute. It was kind of funny. I enjoyed it. I wish his name wasn't Reese, because I just kept picturing Reese from Akatar like the whole time, and I didn't like that. But for what it was cute. I did like the witch aspects. It was kind of fun, kind of magical. It reminded me a lot of like Halloween Town, which I love those movies, so that was kind of fun. But yeah, I feel like I don't really have like a ton of things to say about this because it was just kind of like not much here, but still kind of a fun ride. So that's the 3rd book that I finished, and I have 2 hours and 20 minutes left of my audiobook. So I think I have just enough time to finish it or get really close. So I think I'm gonna do that. I do need to go take a shower and get ready for tomorrow and do all that. I can listen to an audiobook through most of that. I think my shower speaker is dead though, so I don't know if I can listen to it in the shower. But we'll see. But I think I can finish that tonight before I go to bed. Just maybe. So I might be able to finish 4 books in this readathon, which would be super great. So I'm gonna give that a shot and I will let you know how that goes. Good morning, everyone. So it is the next morning. It doesn't really matter what time it is. I did finish the Blood Trader last night though, but I finished it like in bed right before we went to sleep. Just barely finished it. So I didn't end up filming it last night, but I did finish it. I did really enjoy it, and I thought I would just take a minute to talk about all of the books that I ended up reading in this readathon and kind of sharing my final thoughts. I started editing this video this morning and realized I never really talked about The Stardust Thief all that much. Alright, so the first book that I finished was The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. This is very much like influenced by like Arabian Nights and stuff. I wouldn't say it's really influenced by Aladdin at all, other than like the lamp thing. There is a lamp in both, but other than that, that's where the similarities end. But basically we have a thief person who deals in illegal magic, and she catches the attention of the Sultan and is sent to go find this magic lamp so that he can end all jinn, but she doesn't want that to happen, and she's forced to go on this quest with his oldest son, who she does not like at all. And then we also have the point of view of his youngest or middle son, I think youngest son, and he is kind of like a nervous, kind of weak prince who gets rescued a lot, and we kind of get his story and we get her story, and we get a couple other stories in here. It's an adult fantasy. It's not like the most complex adult high fantasy ever. Like, I was expecting a lot more complexity, but it is an Arabian setting, so that was something that I wasn't quite used to, so it did still take me longer to read than I expected it to. But I ended up really liking it, but I wouldn't say that I loved it yet. I ended up going with 3.5 stars, and I went back and forth on this pretty much all day yesterday, which is why I didn't update y'all on it in the morning yesterday, because I still wasn't really sure. But I ended up going with 3.5 because I feel like I more than liked it. Like, there were things in this book that I did love, but it didn't quite hit. Like, for me, 5 stars is like a new favorite. Like, this book is everything kind of thing. And then 4 stars is like, it's really close to that, but it didn't make top tier, but I still really loved it. And I just feel like this wasn't close enough to top tier to warrant the 4 stars, but almost. So I went with 3.5 because I see potential. I see it becoming a series that I really like. I just don't yet, but I did really like aspects of this book. I thought that the beginning was a little bit slow, but then it picked up. The ending was definitely a lot more interesting. I also feel like this is one of those books that shouldn't be read in one sitting. Like, this is very much a book that I wish I had been able to like marinate on kind of thing. I wish I had taken it slower, and I might have enjoyed it more. It might have hit 4 stars if I had taken it slower, but since I read it in one sitting, that was a lot to take in all at once for an adult high fantasy. So I wouldn't recommend reading in one sitting, but I would recommend reading it. Then I read Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This follows our main character, Nora, and she is a literary agent, and she's known for being super cutthroat, and she lives in New York, and she has in the past tried to work with this editor, and his name is Charlie. And they don't get along super well. They don't work well together in their first meeting, and Nora also has this thing where she sees herself as the ex-girlfriend in the small town romance book. So she is that New York girlfriend that the guy dumps for the small town girl every single time. That's happened multiple times in her life. So her sister Libby is pregnant and wants to go away for a few weeks with her sister to kind of relax. She's already got 2 kids. She needs some time away. So they go to Sunshine Falls, a very small town in North Carolina. And they're supposed to be there for like a month, but Charlie's there too. Nora keeps running into him and things are spiraling from there. It's really cute. I love Emily Henry's characters in both of her books that I've read. I just feel like they get so sassy and the chemistry between her characters is just so apparent, and I just love the sarcasm and the banter and just how fun they are. And I really, really liked this twist on a small town romance story like a lot. So I would highly recommend this. I would highly recommend any of her books. I haven't read Beach Read yet, but I am bringing it with me on my trip that I'm leaving for today, so I'm going to be reading it very soon. Then I read The Ex-Hex, and this is by Erin Sterling, and this follows our main character Vivian and Reese. So Vivian is a young witch who lives in North Carolina, I think. Nope, Georgia. She lives in Georgia, and she lives in this little, it's basically like Halloween Town, kind of. Like, the town reminds me a lot of Halloween Town, except like it's just witches, but nobody knows that there's witches. Like the non-witch humans don't know about the witches. But we also have Reese, who is the son of this really rich guy. Basically, he's from Wales, but his ancestors like founded this town in Georgia, so he's like connected to the town. And he and Vivian had like a 3-month romance and back in college, and he ended up breaking her heart. And she cursed him, but she didn't really think anything of it. She didn't think the curse like worked. She was mostly just like joking around, kind of in her feelings kind of thing. But it's been 9 years and he has come back to town for the first time since then, and the curse very much did work, and now a lot of things are going very wrong. This book is hilarious. Like, it's definitely like, it's a rom-com for sure. Emphasis on the calm part. There's definitely a lot of like silly, funny things that happen. It's not meant to be taken seriously by any means. Like, it's cutesy, it's funny, and that's about it. There's not really a lot of like substance here. As far as the romance goes, I wasn't really feeling it. I enjoyed the comedy part more than the romance part personally. I just didn't think there was much here, and his whole reasoning for like he didn't have a reason for breaking her heart 9 years ago. Like, that was never really explored kind of thing. So again, second chance romances, not really my favorite, but if you're looking for a cute little Halloween-y type of read, I kind of wish I had read this like around Halloween, because I think it's really great for that. It is funny, it is cute, it is silly, just not like my favorite romance ever. And then last up, I finished my audiobook of The Blood Trader, the last book in the Prison Healer series by Lynette Nani, and I freaking loved it. It was so good. I died multiple times in this book. I screamed a couple of times. I got very upset a couple of times. And I just loved the way it ended. I loved everything about it. I mean, there was some painful moments, but it was so good. Such a good ending to a really great YA fantasy trilogy. And I just really love this series. It definitely hit 5 stars for me. Don't always get along with YA fantasy nowadays, but this is a solid YA fantasy. Okay, so that is everything that I read in this 24-hour readathon. I finished 4 books, which is fantastic. So if you liked this video and you want to see more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the little like button, and the bell notification button will tell you when I post and all of that fun stuff. You can leave me a comment if you've read any of these books, or if there's a book that you want me to read and review. I am happy to do so. So leave me a comment down below, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye!